Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings for Tuesday, January the 31st. We got a 5-game Tuesday slate. As always guys, we're going to go game by game. We're going to give a quick game-by-game breakdown of this 5-gamer, what I do like, taking a first look on Monday night. But as always, before we do get started with the breakdown, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, and if these videos do help you out, please hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you have never checked out PrizePicks before, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code Noah. PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And for those of you that have never heard about PrizePicks, they are a player prop site, so a little bit different than Draftkings and FanDuel and Yahoo. You know, those sites, you're building out a lineup, you're competing against other players. On PrizePicks, you're just taking more or less on a player's projection. So it's just you versus their projections. And you look at their projections, you see if there's any leans you like, take more or less on a projection. You have to make at least 2 picks. You can make up to 6 picks. You can win up to 25x your money on PrizePicks. You can also mix and match sports. So you can make multi-sport entries. You can make a 4-pick entry with 2 NBA picks and 2 NFL picks, or soccer, college basketball, whatever sports you like. PrizePicks probably offers it. They offer pretty much every sport, so give them a try. Make sure that when you do sign up, use that promo code Noah, or just click the link in the description, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through Tuesday's little 5-game slate. We'll start off with the first game of the night, the Heat and the Cavs. So on the Cavs side today, we'll start off with them. You got pretty much fully healthy now. Donovan Mitchell's back. Garland, all these other guys are healthy. So with Mitchell back, I really don't like a ton on Cleveland. A lot of the guys got priced up a little bit for that time that Mitchell was out. So Garland at 8,400 looks a little bit overpriced. Evan Mobley at 7,200 looks a little bit overpriced. Same could be said for Jared Allen, although his role probably doesn't change too much. LeVert, I'm not really interested in at all. It's a tough matchup too against Miami. So this is not a spot that I really love for Cleveland. If I was going to play anyone on Cleveland, I think Donovan Mitchell would be my favorite play. Now, his first game back from injury, or his first few games back from injury, Mitchell was not great last game against the Clippers, but also worth noting that game was a massive blowout, and none of the starters played anywhere near their full minutes. But Mitchell played 20 minutes, shot 5 for 9, had 18 Draftkings points. Don't want to look too much into that game, but I think we can expect close to full minutes from Mitchell here if this game's competitive. Again, I don't love the matchup, but I think Mitchell's okay. Garland feels price correct, if not a little bit overpriced. Mobley, I don't really like in this spot. Jared Allen's in a really tough matchup. The rest of Cleveland, I'm pretty much off of, so it's just not much I really like on Cleveland today. And then on the other side with Miami, big news to keep an eye on from Miami is Jimmy Butler's status. Jimmy Butler listed as questionable for this game, so if Jimmy Butler is in, I don't really like a ton from Miami either, just because this is these are 2 really slow-paced teams, 2 teams that play really good defense. I think this could be a really low-scoring game, so this is not a game I really want to be targeting a ton. Miami, if it's a competitive game, they're going to play Bam Adebayo 35, 36 minutes. Same goes for Hero. Lowry's been terrible lately, but he should get pretty decent minutes. I mean, these guys are playable options, but there really is nothing that I love from Miami if Butler is in. Now, if Butler is out, then yeah, that changes things. If Butler's out, I think Bam would get a boost. I would have some interest in Bam. Even in a tougher matchup, I think Hero would take on a much bigger role. We could see Hero play 36, 37, 38 minutes if they don't have Butler here. Obviously, matchup's a little bit tough, but I think Hero would definitely be in play. Now, last time Butler was out, I did like Kyle Lowry a lot for value, and Lowry was terrible. I think it was the game against Boston. He played 29 minutes and had 19 Draftkings points. His per-minute production has been really bad lately. I mean, look at his, he's playing 30 minutes and he's putting up 24 Draftkings points. I feel like at some point, Kyle Lowry's going to have a decent game, and maybe if Butler's out here, Lowry does get enough of a boost to where he could become a viable cheap option. So I think at 4,700, if Butler does sit, I think Lowry would be in play for value. I think Victor Oladipo would get a little boost. He'd become an okay option. I think Max Strus would enter the value consideration if Butler's out. But right now, I really don't like much in this Miami-Cleveland game. It should be a fun game to watch. It should be a competitive game, but it's going to be really low scoring. The price tags on a lot of these guys feel about right. There's nothing I love here, assuming Butler's in. Obviously, if Butler's out, that'll change things, and I kind of talked about who I like if Butler's out. But let's go ahead and move on to the next game, the Lakers and the Knicks. So the Lakers, they're on the second night of a back-to-back. LeBron and Anthony Davis both did not play on Monday. I'm assuming they'll play today. They should be back for today. So we'll start off on the Lakers side. You got LeBron coming in at 11,600. At this price tag, I'm not super interested in LeBron, but even with Anthony Davis back last game, LeBron still had a huge game. Obviously, the game went to overtime, but he put up 66 DK points against the Celtics. Kind of a tougher matchup. This matchup against the Knicks, I think, is like okay. At this point, I don't think LeBron really has. There's no one that can slow LeBron down one-on-one. So like, I don't know if there even is a tough matchup for LeBron. He can find a way to put up big games even against anyone. So LeBron's okay. It's just that I feel like he's kind of at his max price right now, and with Anthony Davis back, it feels like you're kind of overpaying for LeBron, but he's still okay. Anthony Davis in the games he's played since coming back from injury, minutes were kind of kept in check. His first game against San Antonio only played 26 minutes, but last game he played 34. I'm guessing we'll get full minutes from Anthony Davis here. I'm guessing like 34, 35. He did start last game, and he played, again, decent minutes. So AD's okay at 10-4, but, I kind of want to see him have a good game before I go there. Anytime a guy's coming back from injury, I'm always a little bit hesitant to click on him, just until I see them kind of get back into form. But, if he's back to playing full minutes, we know the upside is there for Anthony Davis. Not having Mitchell Robinson, I think, makes this matchup definitely better. So I don't mind AD at 10-4. But the rest of the Lakers, I'm pretty much off of here. Westbrook, Schroeder, these guys are not interesting with Davis and LeBron back. Same could be said for Thomas Bryant. Rui Hachimura started on Monday, but he should go back to the bench. So, yeah, it's really just LeBron and AD as, like, contrarian pay-up options, and that's it from the Lakers. Now, on the other side with the Knicks, I think it's a really good spot here for these Knicks guys. Obviously, the Lakers play at a fast pace. Their defense has not been that great this season. Julius Randle at 10,100. I don't mind on this slate as a pay-up option. Randle, as of late, he's been solid, been playing massive minutes. His per-minute production's been really good. He's been stuffing the stat sheet. I think it's a pretty good spot for him. I think at 10-1, Randle is firmly in play today. Definitely one of my favorite pay-up options, I would say. And then, Jalen Brunson and RJ Barrett, I have some interest in too. I think Brunson at 7,900 looks really affordable. Definitely a little bit too cheap for this matchup. We've seen the Lakers give up some big games to point guards this season. I know they've been allowing a lot of fancy points to point guards. It's been a good matchup in general going up against the Lakers. And Brunson also playing huge minutes right now. Usage has been really good. Even with RJ Barrett back, we've still seen Brunson take on a big role and have really good games. So I'm interested in Brunson. I don't mind Barrett either, but he's probably my third favorite of those guys. I would probably rank them, when factoring in price, I think I would rank them Brunson first, then Randle, then Barrett. But all three are viable here. And then the rest of the Knicks, I don't really like anything else here. Quickly at 5-1 feels priced about right, but he should play decent minutes off the bench. He's kind of been like their sixth man lately. He's also been closing games too, so I think Quickly's got some upside. If in a game that should be fast-paced, high-scoring, I think Quickly is okay. Quentin Grimes at his price tag, I think feels priced about right, but at 4,400, I don't mind him as a value here. They probably want him for defensive purposes. He might guard LeBron in this matchup. I'm not exactly sure. But at 4,400, Grimes is okay. Jericho Sims, probably going to pass on. He's been starting lately, but he's not really been doing much as a starter. He's not the best permanent producer anyway, so even if he starts and plays like 30, 32 minutes, he could still put up like 18 Draftkings points. He's just not the best producer when he's on the floor. I'll probably pass on him. Going to pass on the rest of the Knicks, I think. So that'll do it for that game. Let's move on to the next one, talk about the Clippers and the Bulls. So start off on the Bulls side. With this Bulls team, when they're fully healthy, it's a tough team to really get too excited about, just because when everyone is priced correctly, it never feels like there's a great play from Chicago. DeRozan's 9K, Vooch is 8,800, and Levine is 8,100. None of these guys look that great to me. Like, the matchup against the Clippers, I don't love. DeRozan, he's probably got the most upside out of the big three from the Bulls, I should say. Again, don't love the matchup here, but I think DeRozan has the upside to pay off a 9K price tag. Vooch has shown a bigger ceiling lately, but 8,800 feels like kind of the appropriate price tag for him. He's playable, but I think I'd take DeRozan straight up. And then Levine at 8,100, again, feels priced about right. It's just, I'm not super interested in many of these Bulls here. I think DeRozan's my favorite if I had to pick any of them. And then the value from the Bulls, I'm just not really going to go to. I mean, Patrick Williams is going to start, play decent minutes, but he's a pretty, low usage guy, not going to really be that productive on a permanent basis. Even if he does play 30-plus minutes here, it's not a guarantee that he has a good game. We'll have to wait and see what kind of value opens up. Right now, there's really no value on the slate, so I think Williams as a value is okay. But man, I never get excited to click Patrick Williams. And the rest of these Bulls guys, I'm just going to pass on. So yeah, not much I like from Chicago. Now on the Clippers side, you got Kawhi coming in at 9,800. You got PG coming in at 8,900. It was kind of the same thing. When these two guys are both priced correctly and when they're both healthy, neither one, like, it's hard to really say which one stands out head and shoulders above the rest. As of late, Kawhi's kind of been the more productive player. His permanent production has been very consistent. His minutes have been great as well. Between him or PG, I think I probably would give the slight edge to Kawhi over PG. PG's had some good games lately, though. Had that 61-point game or 61 DraftKings points against San Antonio. Had 43 last game against Atlanta. PG and Kawhi, they're both going to play big minutes here, but I think on a per minute basis with the production we've seen, I think I'd give the edge to Kawhi over PG if I had to pick one of the two. And the rest of these Clippers guys, like Norman Powell, a little bit overpriced right now. Zubac at 5,500, you just never know how many minutes Zubac's going to play. Some nights he'll play 36, some nights he'll get benched and he'll play 20. Last game he played 22, but again, that was a massive blowout. Against Atlanta, he played 37, was in foul trouble against San Antonio, only played 21. If you want to take a shot on Zubac, go ahead, but I don't feel great about him. And then Marcus Morris is questionable. If he were to get ruled out again, I assume Nicholas Batum would continue to start it without Marcus Morris. So like Batum, I guess, could be an okay value, but he's kind of in like the Patrick Williams category, just not a guy that I really ever get excited to click into my lineups. Terrence Mann's been starting lately, but he's not really been doing much on a permanent basis. He's not really been that productive. I'm not super interested in him. It's just, there's not much to like in this one. This slate in general, man, this is kind of a gross slate, I'll be honest. But that's probably it for this game. I think we kind of talked about everything here. So let's move on to the next game, the Hornets and the Bucks. So start off on the Bucks side. Really good spot here for the Bucks going up against Charlotte. Charlotte plays fast. They don't play much defense. There's obviously some blowout risk in this game. Milwaukee's playing at home. I think they're favored by like almost 12. So blowout risk is definitely in the range of outcomes, I guess. But Giannis is in a great spot. The 12K price tag does feel about right, but man, like he could absolutely crush Charlotte here. The last two games, we've seen Giannis kind of get back to normal. 70 and 73 DK points his last two games. Minutes have been pretty strong as well. For what it's worth, last time they played Charlotte, Giannis had like his worst game of the season. He put up 12 DraftKings points in 21 minutes. It was just, I've never seen anything like that. And you would think in this matchup, Giannis would absolutely crush. But for some reason, like he was terrible last time they played Charlotte. I would expect him to be much better today. The blowout risk is a concern, but if Charlotte can keep this game competitive, I think Giannis offers a ton of upside, and he's definitely my favorite play on Milwaukee. Drew at 8,500, I'm not super interested in, especially with Middleton back, with Giannis healthy. I feel like Drew's a little bit overpriced right now. Middleton's been coming off the bench, kind of been playing limited minutes, but his permanent production's like it's been trending in the right direction. But until we see more minutes from Middleton, he's really not rosterable. I have a feeling he's gonna move into the starting lineup at some point, and I think the day that he goes back into the starting lineup, that'll probably be the day that he plays close to normal minutes. So if we get the Bucks starting lineup and Middleton is starting, then I think that's an indication that Middleton is going to play like somewhat close to normal minutes. But if Middleton is still coming off the bench, that probably means he's going to be limited to like 20 minutes, which in that case is not really going to make him rosterable. So keep an eye on that Bucks starting lineup. Do want to mention Brook Lopez too, just because the matchup is so good for him. Charlotte been giving up a ton of fancy points to centers. They give up a lot of block shots as well, and we know Brook Lopez is a great shot blocker. I think this spot's pretty good for Brook Lopez. He's never a guy that I get excited to roster, especially when everyone is healthy. But again, the matchup is so good that I think Brook Lopez is definitely on my radar today. And that's probably it for Milwaukee. I think I'm going to pass on the rest of these guys. I know Pat Connaughton was really chalky last slate. He had a really big first half, didn't do much in the second half. Or I think that was the Indiana game. He had a big first half, and he kind of cooled off, and then he had a strong fourth quarter. He was really chalky that day. I think that was Saturday when they played Indiana. It was either Friday or Saturday. Had a big game. Last game against the Pelicans, only played 26 minutes, had just 18 DK points. Look, Connaughton's had some better numbers lately, but he's another one of these guys, man. Like, I just never feel good about clicking Pat Connaughton into my lineups. When everyone's healthy, he's like the sixth option on offense. I mean, he's just kind of like a corner three guy. He's got to knock down threes. He's got to get rebounds to really get there. And sure, he could do that in a matchup against Charlotte, but I have a feeling he's going to be really popular today because there's like no value. And if Connaughton's going to be popular, he's one of these guys that I think I definitely would be okay fading in GPPs. For cash games, if he projects well and he fits into the optimal, the best lineup, then you just kind of play him, I think. But for GPPs, I would definitely be a little bit hesitant to click Connaughton into my lineup if he's going to be really popular. Grayson Allen's had some decent games lately, but man, when the team's fully healthy, it's really hard to get excited about Grayson Allen. So that's probably it for Milwaukee, I think. Now, we can talk about Charlotte here. Charlotte, tough spot for them against the Bucks. There's obviously blowout risk here. But if these guys can, keep this game competitive, if Charlotte keeps this game competitive, we could see really big minutes for LaMelo, for Terry Rozier. PJ Washington, like these guys have been playing really big minutes in close games. LaMelo's going to play like 35, 36 minutes if it's a close game. The matchup's pretty tough, but he's got plenty of upside if Charlotte can keep this one competitive. Terry Rozier, 8K, I think feels priced about right, but he's playable. Same goes for like Washington and Plumlee. Don't love the spot for Plumlee. I think it's definitely a tough matchup for Plumlee. The Bucks have done a really good job limiting centers this season. Plumlee's been great this year. He's been stuffing the stat sheet, but I'm not really that interested in him in this spot. And then the rest of Charlotte, Gordon Hayward's only 5,200. He's kind of interesting today. His minutes have not been that great lately. He's played 4 games since coming back from injury. They've kind of been keeping him in like the mid-20s. I don't think he's going to play like mid-20s minutes just like for the next 2 weeks. He's going to get back to playing close to full minutes at some point. If this is the game where you do get like 30-plus minutes from Gordon Hayward, I mean, 5,200 for Gordon Hayward, if he's playing 30-plus minutes, I think that is a little bit too cheap. So I kind of like Gordon Hayward as like a value at 5,200. I think he's somewhat viable. The rest of Charlotte, though, I'll pass on these guys. It's really just like, I think it's Hayward and LaMelo are probably my 2 favorite plays on the Hornets today. And that'll do it for that game. Let's go ahead and move on to the last game of the night, the late night hammer, Pelicans and Nuggets. So we'll start off on the Denver side. Big news to watch here for Denver is Jamal Murray's status. Jamal Murray questionable for this game with injury management. This is going to be big news. Obviously, this is the late night game, so I don't know when we're going to get news on Jamal Murray. If Jamal Murray does not play, that will give us some value. You have Bruce Brown coming in at 5,200. You have Bones Highland coming in at 4,300. Both those guys would benefit in a scenario where Murray was out. Both would be really, really good values. And like I said earlier, we don't really have much value on this slate. So Bruce Brown, Bones Highland, if Jamal Murray gets ruled out, I like both those guys a ton. Obviously, if Jamal Murray gets ruled out, that's even better for Jokic, for Michael Porter Jr., for Aaron Gordon. Those guys would get a little boost as well. I think Jokic is definitely the top play on Denver right now. Matchup here against the Pelicans, I think is fine. J-Val has not really done the best job of slowing down Jokic. I don't think at this point really anyone can slow down Jokic, but J-Val's not like the best defender by any means, so I think this is a fine spot for Jokic. Between him or Giannis, I think it's really close. I think the matchup's probably better for Giannis, but I think this game is more likely to be competitive, so that might give the Jokic the upper hand over Giannis today. But I like both these guys, Jokic and Giannis. I think they're pretty neck and neck. Jokic, I don't have an issue going to. I'm at 11-8. I think he's a fine pay-up option. Just, again, right now the only issue is there's just not much value on this slate. And then Jamal Murray, if he plays at 7,500, I'm not super interested in. He feels priced about right. Same with Aaron Gordon. Same with Michael Porter Jr. I think those guys only become viable options if Murray sits for me. And then again, if Murray sits, Brown, Highland, really, really good values. I would like both those guys a ton. But that's pretty much it for Denver. And then on the other side with the Pelicans, so still no Zion for the Pelicans. CJ McCollum going to be kind of the lead guy in terms of usage, but Brandon Ingram, has been making his return, kind of been ramping up his minutes. He's played 2 games since coming back from injury. He's played 26 and 29 minutes in those 2 games, so he's close to getting back to full minutes. I think as Ingram starts to ramp up, get back to full minutes, he's going to start taking away more usage, more production from CJ McCollum. And where McCollum's priced at 8,200 and Ingram is 7,600. I don't really love either one of these guys. I think McCollum feels priced about right now that Ingram is back. I don't think he's cheap or anything. I think the price tag's correct. If Ingram was still out, I'd have a more interest in McCollum. But with Ingram back, I don't like McCollum as much. Ingram himself, I kind of think's in play here. He played 29 minutes his last game, shot 8 for 22. I think he's going to get back to playing full minutes pretty soon. If it's not this game, it's probably next game. We'll see him play 35, 36 minutes. Obviously, he shot the ball terribly last game, but at some point he's going to start to find a groove. He's going to shake off that rust. Between him and McCollum, I think I'd actually prefer Brandon Ingram today at 7,600. I think he's probably my favorite of the Pelicans. J-Val, really scary spot here going up against Jokic. I think last time these teams played, J-Val got in major foul trouble, played just 18 minutes, had 4 fouls in 18 minutes. Jokic is great at drawing fouls, and J-Val is a guy that really struggles with picking up fouls, so probably going to pass on J-Val here. I'm just really worried about the foul trouble against Jokic. I think there's definitely a ceiling for J-Val if he can stay out of foul trouble because they need his size against Jokic. But again, J-Val's just one of these guys that's just hard to predict when he does and when he won't pick up fouls. He's playable, but I'm not super interested in him. And then the rest of the Pelicans, probably going to pass on these guys. Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy, Alvarado. I don't really have much interest in these guys for value. Herb Jones is really cheap, but his permanent production has been pretty bad lately, and now that Brandon Ingram's back, it's hard to feel confident in really any of these value guys. So that'll do it for the Pelicans, and that'll do it for this little 5-game Tuesday slate. This is not the best slate, guys, I'll be honest. I don't really like this slate at all. But I'm still probably going to be playing because I'm a degenerate and I play almost every slate. So hopefully we can all win some money tonight, though. I appreciate you guys watching this video. As always, make sure you hit that like button. If you guys did enjoy, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you guys are new to the channel and if you've never checked out PrizePicks before, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can sign up for PrizePicks and use my promo code NOAH. PrizePicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. Definitely give them a try if you have not yet. But wish you guys the best of luck today. Hope you all enjoy your Tuesday. Hopefully we can make some money tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.